Hello, good evening, everyone. How are you?
All right, evening, good evening.
Good. So I just wanted to come together and, because it's Domestic Violence Month, and we are almost at the end of October. So just wanted to talk with everyone about different experiences you may have had, and just to let people know a little bit more about you. They've seen you on the flyer and know that you're a survivor. So we're just gonna just have some candid conversation. And so I guess we can start with you, Brenda Ford. Just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself. Something good, something fun that you like to do.
No. I'm Brenda Ford. I am a minister, and things I like to do. I like being around my family. I like cooking. I just got through cooking, and spaghetti and fried chicken, and it's all that makes me happy to see everybody happy eating and stuff. And I like to dance and stuff. Like, hustle dancing, but like far as enjoying life. And but other than that, I'm just like being around my family. And I got a new grandbaby.
Congratulations.
She's like 4 days old, so that's exciting. And she is a girl.
Yeah.
So I have two boys, so it's a girl, so it's different. So I'm ready for new chapters. What else do you want to know?
I didn't know you liked to dance. What type of dance?
Hustle.
Oh, you know all the hustle?
No, I know some of them.
Oh, I was about to say, look, you thought
Now
about
that
the
you
hustle.
trying to start, she was look past.
And the lovely Pastor Brenda. Hi, from Soul Harvest Ministry. Thank you for opening up this platform, podcast studio to us to let everyone be able to come tell their story. If you can, just tell us a little bit about the church, and then from you being a part of this, how has that made you kind of feel or view things?
Yeah, thank you for giving me the opportunity to
Thank
do this,
you.
because I have learned so much from these wonderful young ladies. But yes, Soul Harvest Ministries, I'm an associate pastor, and I deal with this a lot. And so just to hear the voice of the ladies speaking, giving their the testimonies and things that they've gone through is really eye-opening, and it really lets you know, it's a reminder that this is real.
Yeah.
This is something that we have to talk about more. This is something that we have to be in prayer about.
Yeah.
And it opens up your heart even more, because you want to be in support even the more. You think things are running through your mind. What can I do to help? And so this has just been a wonderful opportunity. And I am so happy to be connected to these wonderful young ladies, and of course, up here.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Brittany, I'm Brittany Harris. You know,
like I do makeup. I have a nonprofit. I run my son's Moore. I have 2 children at home. Another 3 I'm really I like working with the people. Like volunteering. With the city, helping other girls, get through domestic violence, and talking to them as well.
introduce yourself, my love. Beautiful.
So beautiful.
My name is Tamara Munger. From occupation, per se.
Right.
However, I do a lot as well. co-founder, part-owner of I Hate Domestic Violence. I like to cook out, I try and keep it on the side. So in addition to like my 9 to 5 job, that's what I kind of do on the side. I'm a fixer, I feel like. So I actually like to help people, beautify themselves pretty much from the inside out. So healthy eating, working out, things like that. And then of course, this organization, my sister, she's not here today. However, she has spearheaded a lot of the things that we're doing for the organization. So we're in the community, speaking to people, making them aware of what domestic violence is and, what it could look like and what it doesn't look like. And so, that's who I am. That's beautiful.
Who are you?
The ghost.
My name is Greg Russo. Let's finish. No, my name is Raymond Parks. I'm a founder of the program. Also, a maternal infant health organization called Uplift Family Services. What I like to do is, sit at home. That's what I like. So, what I do on my spare time is, I play basketball, highly active in the community. I would say, well, the church called it evangelize. So I evangelize different ways, right? I try to reach the people where we at. I try not to, like, I'm on here and everybody say here. So I'm just a seeker, eternal seeker of God and knowledge, and passionate about uplifting people. I've been like that since 9 years old. And that's just me, you know. Married, to my wife,
Yeah. Together, y'all didn't count, okay.
Yeah, just married, 13 years, just got active in the church, right? We talk about domestic violence and trauma and stuff a lot, and that's probably one of the reasons why I'm just now being introduced to the Bible as an adult. You know, because of life experiences and things like that, but overall, I got high enthusiasm for the Lord, about building our campus. I'm always saying that to anybody I talk to. We got a gym over here. We have a school over here that's need resources. And organizations like y'all have, we need people like that that share their passion with our community on our platform. We got a platform here. So just bringing more people to the word first, and also giving y'all a platform to express yourself. You know, that's why a lot of hurt and healing takes so long to take place, because we don't know how to talk about it. We don't know when to talk about it, right? So this is the wave now. Everybody doing podcasts and TikToks and things like that. But we doing this for not just because it's domestic violence month. Like I said, my wife is a survivor, right? I wasn't in a domestic relationship, but my parents raised me in a domestic household. So understanding different ways trauma can take place, I can speak on a few of them. I can't speak on, like I said, the relationship status. You know, and I feel for you ladies that's been through that. One of the things that is important, and I'm glad we doing together, is because my wife just now expressing to me how severe her domestic situation was. And I used to always, and we get in arguments, anything, just like, it makes sense now, like,
Yeah.
you know, why you act out, or it's like a pointing finger back and forth, you know what I'm saying? And it makes sense, so I'm being educated too on the relationship side of domestic, and it's, as a man, it's humbling for sure. And then you start looking at your own homeboys like, dude, you shouldn't be talking like that, or, you know what I'm saying? So I found myself I corrected men a lot.
Yeah.
I go there too. So guys,
But one
we
thing
on
that
one,
you,
ladies, I'm telling y'all, we on one with advocating
yeah,
for y'all healing,
yeah,
right? So I just commend y'all for even just taking the time out and saying enough is enough. Somebody needs to know how to overcome it.
now, what made you all wanna like tell your story, or when you finally were able to come out your mouth and say, like, I'm a survivor? Because I'm dealing with a friend right now who, we just got off the phone and she's like, I'm not even ready to say it.
Well, I can say me,
Mhm.
when I found the Lord, when the Lord found me, yeah, I found the Lord. And it was time to heal. And I think it's a time for everything, everybody.
Yeah.
You know, so I really believe that it was time. And like my first thing I ever done was I was on the news.
Mhm.
But they still waiting my face or whatever, but people knew it was in my voice. You know, you gotta- Yeah, but it was still, and everybody, you know, what tripped me out is how people knew I was doing it and they were scared I was doing something like this.
See?
You know, like people were like, what are you going to say?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? What do you got to say? And I was like, but then when they see me, they're like, oh, you did real good. And they was like relieved, you know, like.
Everybody now is ready to, they're not ready to be exposed,
Yeah.
and they don't want to be.
Yeah, because, when you be around people,
Man.
they don't actually have to put their hands on you, but the way they treated you is just as domestic as them actually abusing you. So they knew they did some wrong, so they didn't know whether they was gonna be the one that was being talked about.
Right.
So, but anyway.
God forbid you come out with a book.
Right.
Oh, girl, they put money.
So, and then, I got one on the news again, and this time it was my face, and they read my segment as like a commercial.
Yeah.
And, I didn't know it went so far, really big, because they was sharing it in different offices, and people came like, when I see you in my office, I looked on the screen, you was up there, But I was like, it was the, domestic violence, January.
Okay.
So, that was something nice. I did, I had to, the TikTok part, you had to do it I had to tell my story in 60 seconds.
Wow, they give you a lot of time.
They don't give you.
So it tells you where society is.
So that's,
break that down. Exactly.
Yeah.
the Lord did it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying, like, that's where he had came in at, for that, he gave me a, opportunity to tell and to reach people in 60 seconds.
I remember the news coming here, actually.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
another one.
Yeah, wanting to hear your story and wanting to interview you, and they were giving like some things to do so that they can get the awareness out. I remember that.
Yeah, but like, I think that's what I just asked the question, it's just the time. I think it was this time, because, you probably don't, told your story to many people before, but not to a group of people.
Yeah.
To the point to reach that heal somebody. This was to get it out. But I feel like once I did it, I was like, I don't know why I was so bold. Look.
Yeah, I think we carry like a lot of guilt and shame.
That was the most.
Because we don't think nobody else went through something similar to us, but you are really surprised once you tell your story, how many people can relate.
Right.
I think some of us don't tell it because we feel like we think guilt and shame, but we don't feel when we expose our issues. You know what I'm
That,
saying?
yeah, that's,
It's like, 'cause you
yeah.
still feel bad, like, you know,
Yeah.
like, I feel bad, I'm not to say this, I don't want, like you said,
Like, they was
what you gonna
waiting.
say about me?
Yeah,
You
they
know,
was-
because,
yeah.
you know, you still have ties with these people, you know, you
Yeah.
may still have ties with these people, you still, these might be your family members, these might be your significant other, and it's like, oh, wow, don't say this, cause you know, cause I'm still trying to look out for your image.
And cover up.
And cover it,
We always like
so
that.
it is kind of scary. you know?
Yeah, it's a dark,
Fear,
it's
yeah,
it's a
fear.
dark place. You know, it's a dark place that you live in, I think, even as healing. Because some stuff we still need to talk about. You know what I'm saying? That's things, and especially not on this platform, but you know, like, I'm just being real. You know, because you still don't want nobody to know that somebody did that to you. You know what I'm saying? And you still ain't gonna tell their secret.
And I always tell young girls,
Go ahead.
no, I'm sorry, go ahead. No, I was just gonna say, and I guess for me, that when when Raymond was saying, I finally opened up with all the detail, because I found myself being, and I don't know if y'all can relate to triggers
Yeah,
that take you back.
yeah.
And it could be something so
Oh.
small, but
Yeah.
I'm triggered because I'm having a flashback. So I had to really reevaluate myself and say, okay, this is not the person who did this to me. And I can't carry this along the way. And it impacts your relationship with other people too, as far as trust and guilt or shame. Like you said, some of, just
That's so-
sexual abuse, it was by a family member. And it's like you said, it's somebody you have to
Yeah, but
be
it's
around on a
so, that's a
regular.
touchy
You know, when
thing.
they say shame, for me, I don't even really think I've addressed my own story, but I was addressing my mom's story because it was something that we did to stand up for her. Her abuser at one point worked for Channel 7 News, so when the news came out about the situation, it was like, oh, this great guy, you know, this great guy. It was like, now wait a minute, you know, like this, you addressing this man, but you're not even addressing the fact that he's a murderer, that he just murdered somebody, you know. Sorry to his family as well. However, he could have took his own life and left my mama alone. So it was more so when we started, it was instantaneous. Like it was not even a question. Like, hold on, like we got to speak up for our mother.
Yeah.
So you didn't even get a chance to process yours.
You know, it was instant. Like, hold on, we got to start speaking out. And so I started writing, and people like, oh, you guys should do this, do that, you know, because I just had to articulate the situation. And I had to say, well, yeah, this happened, and I'm sure he was a good person to some people. However, this is what he is to us in this moment. And so,
Wow.
And even sometimes,
That's what people to cover up, that's what the cover up,
Oh,
makes
I
me angry a little bit.
yeah, it makes me angry as well. That's what I was saying, anger. It's like you do put these two different faces on, but you know, you coming back home and you doing this, and then the outside world, like you said, like, well, this is such a great person. It's like, you know, you're not even taking accountability for my past.
And,
You know what I'm saying?
and I've seen abuse being nice to other people.
But that's what they
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I mean.
They don't want to cover
They're
up
charming.
They're very charming. They be charming to us. That's why we went for it. You know, like.
I'm gonna give y'all an example from a gas standpoint.
That's why we glad you're here.
So, I don't mind, you know, speaking my truth.
Right.
So, at the age of 12, I was molested by a woman. He was a drug addict. My household, they were doing drugs. So it was a friend of the family. And for years, you know, in conversation with guys about, you know, when the first time you had sex.
Right.
You know, I'm hiding that, but I ain't gonna say I got molested. I'm just gonna throw an age out. I did 6 to 12. So for years and a long time, I went on with that hurt. Like, I can't stand crackers. I can't stand them. You can't come on my porch. I don't know
It's
nobody.
a trigger for
No
you, yeah,
drug
that's
dealers,
trigger.
like all that. It was like that. And the drug dealers in the neighborhood now, that's why I got so much respect a lot of places because I didn't tolerate it. It was like, no, you ain't selling dope over here. I take your side. I flush it down the toilet, whatever. We can do whatever. I'm on that. Cause like I said, 1990, my mother got put in a wheelchair by a guy. They beat my mother to death and left her in Highland Park on Hamilton and Florence in a trash can. You know, so I grew up with a lot of domestic behaviors in my household. YBI, everybody know YBI. That's my household. Like my sister's father, he passed away. He got murdered. Rerun. He's in the book with Bruce Jones. That's my sister's dad. You know, so we grew up in traffic, right? Violent all the time. And it was like, how do I separate myself from that? You know, and it was people like, and I spoke on BET in college when I was in college for United Negro College Fund. And it was certain people that was advocates in the community, you know, that will come to games and, you know, paying athletes to just be good, do you, man. I like what y'all doing, go a few dollars for your team and stuff like that. And those people identified that talent in me without them even knowing. And I'm like, as long as I keep going good, these people going forward. So that's what made my push the whole way. So knowing your cause on what your trauma is should be the drive to get you out of it.
That's where I'm at. I like, you know, like the life I led, prostitution and stuff like that. I went back to the community. I went back in. I did not just, walk past them. I did not think about them because I was them. You know what I'm saying? And I remember every time I show up, the ones that still out there and they see me, it's just like, they great hope. You know, like they can change because I was stumped down just like them, you know what I'm saying? I was nothing just like them, you know what I'm saying? And so when I come, I don't hesitate and I make sure I say, let me pray for you. You know what I'm saying? I make sure I pray for them before I walk away. But my biggest drive is like to like, I wanted to start an organization with everybody listening. You know, that, that I wanted to like go in community and, you know, have a place for them to come because, even being raped, because I remember being raped and going back to the corner right after that. So I know many of us have, or many of them have experienced the same thing. And so, you know, for you, to me, because I suppressed so many, see, that was suppressive. I went back, got high and suppressed it. So it would start to pack. So you don't have nobody directly go, let me tell you what just happened to me. You know, somebody that even think about that care. You know, they said somebody that even like they care. You know, that's what I want to be like, an open door. For them to come to say, hey, this happened to me and it's bothering me. I know I'm on drugs, but I still need to tell somebody. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's where my biggest, dream is to do something, is go back and just be there for them, a sandwich, a hot dog, you know, anything. Just somewhere they can come to, just to have a little few hours, just sit out and talk.
So I'm glad you said that. Let me say something to that. So what do y'all think about like the presence of domestic violence resources here in like Wayne County where we at versus other counties? Because on an average, I'm gonna be honest, I get 2 to 3 calls a day from my young ladies who are in these situations. And these shelters are full. And my heart is tugged because when a mom is calling you, and that's why we want the police present at this gala, because I want them to be held accountable. They tell you to call the police. Okay, you call the police, you could be there by the time the police get there. Or do you go file a PPO but they don't honor the PPO. They still, and then you gotta go to the police station, and then they say, okay, we gon' and then another thing, like I tell the young ladies, they need like a safety kit. Like just in case you got, cause some people just gotta go right then and there. Sometimes you get to sit there and determine, okay, make a plan for yourself. But what do y'all think about just the resources in general?
That's what we want right here.
Yeah. Well, this is a good neighborhood for it. That's exactly, this is where I came from. Every corner, around this area, this is where I was.
I'm glad you brought up.
But I do have to say something. I gotta jump in on that, calling the police. I called the police.
No, we want the police.
Hold on, that's 911. The abuser was at the door trying to kick it in, right?
Right,
I'm calling 911, so I'm screaming,
yeah.
right? The 911 caller said, "Stop hollering in my ear."
See what I'm saying?
You know,
See what I'm saying?
and the police, they came, they was like, "Oh, just get you something. If you come back in, you can kill him." Like, is that just?
And you
Seriously, that's what it happened to me, so I know that happened to me. So.
See, and that's the
And I'm like, I ain't trying to kill nobody, you know what I'm saying?
I think it should be right. I think it should be like, stricter laws is that, for situations like that, you know what I'm saying? It should be women rights. Yes. We have certain rights, like elderly rights, women rights. Yes. If a woman is calling in, they should have certain rights, you calling and you saying, hey, somebody wants to kill you. You need to be there ASAP. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't even be
like an Amber Alert.
Yeah, no, really.
Like that.
They only have one domestic violence unit. So, like, right now, I know with mental health, they train, like, I don't know if y'all seen, like, all these officers to go out with people with mental health. But it's only one domestic violence unit for the whole Wayne County. And that's so sad, we keep seeing these incidents on TV, like, every day.
And they're gonna say, well, we're short staffed, so we don't have the people, we don't have the resources, that's what they're gonna say. We did a speaking session a couple months ago, and, we had somebody from the community come in and she spoke. And one of the things that the audience suggested is that we have like a universal signal. So like if someone is in a situation and they with their abuser and they need help, but they're afraid, they can throw up a signal and say, I need your help, and we should be able to recognize
The signal.
what that signal is.
Yeah.
So that would be something, I don't know how we get from that, but that would be something that would give us a signal, like.
Yeah,
Just like we said, the ambulance, hey, this person is in distress.
A lot of people feel like the process of the protocol of the police don't take, it's not fast enough for people's situation. It's like, all right, I gotta file a PPO. He's still gonna pull up at my house. It's gonna take y'all forever to get here.
Do I have a vehicle?
Right.
Why could I be to follow? Come on now. I have these resources, it's like, hey, let me go to this, down there, and down there, like, that's every situation, I'm right here, right now. What can we do?
So that's where we trying to provide.
Bring
And
awareness.
we bringing not only
That's
awareness,
all we wanna bring
we
awareness.
trying to advocate on our hub for these type of programs to be here, a safe hub for people to come out here.
Yeah, because.
We can pull you, we gotta have transportation to come get you. Come get you to the program.
I'm about to walk the bus stop and try to get away. By the time I get out the door, I'm gonna be dead. Yeah.
And it's all coming from just praying, right?
Right.
You mentioned something, I pray for the people that going through what I've been through or whatever, right? It's important to pray.
Yeah.
But faith without works is dead. So now, if we gonna pray for the people, at least show them what we're praying for. This is the change we praying for. You want food, okay, we got food programs here. You want clothes, we
Yeah,
got clothes programs.
yeah, yeah.
Need
You need to take a shower, we got a shower in the locker room.
Right, right,
You
right.
can
So
sign
we'll
up,
leave over.
you can sign up for our program.
That's what
So like
I
a
always.
rec center,
Yeah.
Especially in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
sorry.
Like the community, no, we have community centers in every neighborhood. Yeah, same thing as Day Hub in every neighborhood for these young
But
ladies.
it's not only just finding a red zone neighborhood. See, that's another thing, we need to find those,
Red
because
zone.
I moved to,
Can you explain what a red zone is? For
Okay,
people might not. know.
okay, where the people don't know red zone. Red zone is where a lot of violence and prostitution and drug
place.
activity is high.
We in the kingdom.
So, so the police got it called as the red zone. So when you see the police patrolling the area, neighborhood a lot, there's a lot of drug and violence going on over there. That's the only reason why. But other than that, when you don't see them in a certain neighborhood, ain't too much going on. So, but I moved towards like, Schoolcraft, like I moved up that way. And it is really high over there too, so, yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
They call that the scud.
I believe that, and I've seen that, and I've seen the need, you know what I'm saying? And it's also, if it's a need, it should be like areas like that, like this. Like not only for women, but over in this area there, drag queens and, transgenders over in this area that suffer from abuse as well.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm
for
saying?
sure.
So it's like, it
That's
goes
for sure.
deeper, it's deeper than, women, but it's over in this area. So, this is where you are implemented at. You know what I'm saying? Because, I don't know about other areas, but I know 6 Mile Wood, this area is really high over here. So, they need help as well because they don't know how to get out. And, they be I've seen it.
So
Firsthand.
the big as our
You know,
hub is, and as many, units on our campus, we'll be able to provide, straight up, we'll be able to provide resources from going out, not telling everybody, come here and we need, we'll be able to say, we got how many seniors in our, city? All right, we got enough food to package up and deliver.
Right.
How many people that's been late in school at the elementary up here? How many kids? We got a transportation to make sure these kids get to school.
Yeah.
This is the type of stuff we gotta advocate on. In our evangelizing, in our praying for people. Like this, I take it serious because I left here to go get a college degree with a book bag. Everybody said I left here with a book bag. I lost my football scholarship hanging with the wrong people. One of the best football players in the state of Michigan, hands down. Lost my football scholarship and said I'm still gonna go. Book bag, 10,000 in my pocket. I see y'all when I graduate. It took me 8 years to graduate. A whole nother state. I'm 17, 18 years old. I'm out. I'll see y'all later. They did a life story on me. What age you come down here? I got kicked out. My grandma died. They snatched the financial aid. I stayed down there, worked at Foot Locker, sold cars at Chrysler, played ball in college. I'm like, no sleep. To this day, I nod off like this. And I'm back up. What we on? You gotta know what drives you, what you wanna change about your life.
That's it, but when you were speaking that, this is the vision I got. You went fishing, you cleaned the fish up, and you helped them to become a better person.
I ain't even take the fish off the hook. To this day, if I go fishing, I pull him off the wall. Hey, grab that.
No, the people that you was helping, like bring them, you feed them, wash them up, clean them up. they may be a prominent member in church, you know what I'm saying? So they might come up and look at me. So, you know, like, I know I came from the same, you know, so it's like, you don't know where a person who out there, who they could be, and help uplift the church and bring more people in.
Yeah.
That is about loving on people, that you got to love on.
Hey, it's a funny story, but my friends laugh about, they still joke about this to this day. But they were like, man, it's crazy how you separated yourself at an early age. My first time going to church, I was 13. I went just to go on a field trip. I swear, I had to be baptized though. You had to be a member of the church to go to the little field trip. But I got it every Sunday for at least 2 months. As a kid, my homeboy, his daddy and them over here on Van Dyke and Harper, second my time on Missionary Baptist
I
Church.
see what you mean.
I went and I don't even know who was preaching is. I ain't gonna lie.
Preacher, if you listening.
I probably I was a kid. I might meet you. But yeah, they like Gene, like yeah, my granddad and I'm going to church. I made him go. He didn't never go to church with his granddaddy at all. He like, now you got Gene going to church. So it's like when I find what's working for me, whether I really believe in it or not, I'm pulling somebody with me.
Me too.
Because I see it's helpful. I see the good in it. And if it's just confirmation, it's like, hey, let's try this out. That's the type of person I was.
You never know who's watching you.
Yeah.
Who you're affecting by just being you. So you always have to tell yourself, I work in an environment where I show up every day and I make sure that I come dressed. Whether I don't feel like always putting on lip gloss or maybe I may just skip the makeup, but I'm at least putting lip gloss on the top of my hair because they always say, Miss Munger, you know, you give us hope. You know, thank you for coming. You always look so nice. Or it's young black women like you. I wish I had did something different. So I always show up even when I don't feel like it because you just never know who's watching. People reach out all the time and say, you know, thank you. Can you post that again? Or can you keep posting? Or can you know, they'll just say little things. Even like my social media, I may post something and you know, they may not comment, but they'll get in my inbox and say thank you for posting that. Or, thank you for sharing that. Or can you give me that recipe? I made for a healthy recipe out there. Yeah. So you know.
But I have, before you even say that, people have called me, reached out to me, one of my cousins, and yeah, my telephone number, got my number from my mother, because I said something on Facebook. I was like, I don't know what I said, but it touched her, and I don't know what it was, but I was just talking. But you'd be surprised who you can help just by a couple words, just encouraging words, just telling your story, just being real.
So what made
I know y'all probably get tired of sharing those stories, because sometimes it turns like a war story, right? It's like, well, I've been through this, I've been through this, I've been through this, and it's like, you ain't getting your therapy that you need when we do that. I noticed that when having these conversations, right? And just not on this platform, it's like in the community, when you talking to people and you might just be going like, man, I had the roughest day ever, or whatever. I got in an argument with my girl, or whatever. That person gonna give you the weakest justification on what you're saying.
That's why I got a therapist.
Yeah. I don't like you. I don't like therapy. I tried.
I like therapy too. I like that. At least he's been honest.
This is, and y'all, pardon me if I'm wrong. She been going to therapy for years, giving examples to the therapist. Right?
Okay.
Doing those years. She wasn't even open with me
Right.
on her severity of it. for sure she wasn't open enough with her therapy. So when you go to a therapist, you're only gonna tell them what you can
Right.
Yeah.
manipulate on, basically.
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
First of all, me being.
How you gonna get the real answer? How you gonna get the real answer on the situation? You didn't even give the person the real.
You gotta find the right therapist.
You
gotta find the right therapist.
My therapist,
No,
well, I'll
no,
do
I
it.
was a therapist, you know, I was a grieving therapist, because I lost my son was sick. So, at first it was good, like, you know, I'm connecting with this person, and then after a while, I'm like, okay, we just keep talking about the same thing. It's time for me to move up to another therapist.
Yeah.
You gotta find a therapist for you, for what you need for right then. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
You may be good as a grieving therapist, but you're not good as in like childhood trauma and.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying? Type
yes.
therapy. And I'm dealing
My
with
thing is
childhood
this,
trauma now.
If you telling this lady, he just displaying all these triggers, right? Triggers of what? If I don't even know what I'm the trigger on.
I'm confused.
Right, if she's talking to therapist, I gotta be real. Just like any other relationship, in the beginning part, we was rocky, we was arguments to the point talking about divorce.
Yeah, yeah.
It was rough.
The 7-year itch.
But
Yeah.
all this, you get therapy though, right? And this is my only example, before I even went to therapy, though, I did go with it, right? I'm like, how is you telling this lady something about me? I'm not there woman. She only getting your side of it, but she giving you a diagnosis on how you should handle yourself from it. Right, so you come to her, give her your problem,
yeah.
she diagnosed it both. You know.
Yeah.
Two things, you said, do your pattern sharing stories. For me, it was important.
Mhm.
Like, I feel like I have to.
Yeah.
So it was so many people that were touched by the situation that I felt like I had to. And so it did get to a point where I was like, whew, so I just told a round table, like, this is, at this particular time, you have to meet at my house, and if you wanna know from beginning to end, meet here. But I did feel like I owed it to a lot of her friends, a lot of my friends, like, and so I kept telling it because I felt like it was important.
That was
And it helped
therapy.
you.
Yeah, I think you'll keep telling your story.
Yeah, but then to the therapist situation, I did pray about it. I'm like, I instantly knew, like, cause I was like, I don't wanna be bitter. I don't wanna hold this weight. I already got other life stuff. I don't wanna hold this weight too. So I got a therapist. Therapy was good for a minute, but like you said, at a certain point, I felt like I was being drained from therapy.
When you say, oh, I gotta go to my therapist, that's when you graduated. And
Yeah.
like, at first, I was in therapy once a week, you know what I'm saying? And then it went from once a month, and then it went from every single day.
Yes.
And I'm like, no way, I'm done with this, like, you know, it's time for me to move on, so.
Yeah.
Like, we divorced, yeah,
She
and
had,
she started recommending, like, once a month, I said, oh, you trying to break up with
you
me.
trying to break up with me.
Yeah.
Like, she also went through the situation where she had lost her mom. So it
Mm.
got to a point where she started
Projecting.
little things she would say. And like I said, when I started coming off, cause it was all Zoom during the pandemic, when I started coming off the phone, I would just be, you know, I would cry and things like that. I just had a great day, and why was my therapist making me start to forget? It was a time where, I didn't know her situation prior. You know, I asked for a God-fearing Black woman who, you know, I had on my credentials, and this is who I got, and like I said, it was great. And then he said,
You graduate
every week. Like, when I was just drained, like, wait a minute, like, I'm a therapist now, like, I can't.
Black or man or white? Only black. Nothing against, you know, but I need somebody that can relate to me. So it was a male, and I didn't someone that I know referred me to him. I'm like, man, but I'm like, I think I need this kind of guidance, I mean.
Never follow her.
Yeah, so I'm like, I might get some different, perspectives from a male figure. So I'm like, okay. But then, like you said, his stories, I'm like, I'm tired of hearing that story. And then I'm talking about me, like.
Be willing to expose everything. It's not, I just want to get a therapy to get
Like he was there.
my manipulation. Being honest. It's not. When I went, look, we're talking numbers. Talking numbers, and the therapist talking of behavior. No, we talking
Not on the
numbers.
same
This was the
page,
problem.
yeah.
You said clear, you said the problem was numbers. I'm trying to solve the problem on the numbers, and you started talking about something else. I'm like, wait a minute, where that's coming from? So that's my thing about therapy. It's like, okay, no offense to what you do,
Right.
but the people that's coming to you for therapy gotta be open. If you're
That's
gonna
true.
do
So I
it,
can
you
say
can't
you
be
can tell
holding,
them
and
not
it's
to
like, I'm mad at my partner because of X, Y, and Z.
Tell the truth.
But I have to act on my partner on why I'm even in this argument or situation in the first place.
Oh, no.
You see what I'm saying?
Check me, but I can say this though, when I first got myself together, I went to great therapy.
Okay.
And we had a lot of great sessions, right? And then one day she said, I said, what? She said, it's over. You don't say everything that wrong to you. Me and you, it's nothing more for me to
Right.
give to you.
Yeah.
So she,
right here.
so that, and I was hurt. I was like, when I look at what she,
You on, you.
been healed and
Yeah,
got over the
because it's
situation.
unethical
For them to
to
continue
feel you and.
when they've gotten.
I think that she was now.
But I really got it later. Them gonna say night, really I did,
Okay.
because it was time, that's when I said, okay, if it's the end of this, I need to move on from this.
Yeah.
So that's something I need to move on from too,
Yeah.
just because, okay, I got it out. And then I went back, I said, I don't wanna remember this therapy session, because it was really deep. So, but I said, I could feel the pain from it, but I don't hurt as much.
That part.
It's
Yeah,
when
that
I was going through.
Not ruminating so much.
Yeah.
You know, think about it over and over again.
Yeah, so when it come up now, I can talk about it now. See, that's why,
See, that's what
that's why
people
we're
don't
here.
realize.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm here right now. I can talk about
That
it.
part.
Because I didn't talk about it, and I
Right.
didn't know, like I spoke on the podcast, I didn't know I was raped that many times.
Right.
I had suppressed so many that I forgot. And when I went to therapy, that's when they started coming out. And I was like, oh my God, when I went back, I couldn't wait to tell them about the next one.
Yeah.
And I was like, this happened to me. And then, just seemed like the Lord, he just like, just opened the floodgate. And they said, let release everything. And then when I did that, it seemed like stuff is coming to memory.
Yeah, it's just like.
It's just coming to
And
memory.
that's the whole
And-
purpose of therapy, though.
Yeah.
Stop those depressions and, but like people look at therapists, they're not to fix you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Thank you.
I'm not, they're not to fix you, they're not here to cope. Like, you're gonna feel like I'm never going to be 100% healed.
Right,
with
right.
my son, I lost my son.
Yeah.
Like, I still have bad dreams. I still sometimes ruminate. I still have my seasons. Some days are good and, some days are bad. But my therapist taught me, okay, when you're doing that, this is what you do to cope. And you still have to put in the work. If my therapist telling me, oh, bring me journal, bring me exercise, this is going to help, that's his medicine to me. And if I'm not taking that, for my mind and my physical body, for my emotional health, it's not going to work. Therapy's not going to work. So you can't expect a therapist to talking, and I'm be fixed.
And you don't do none of the
And you don't do
work.
none of the work.
The key to part of you being fixed or healed is you were open. You were able to get everything out to the therapist. My thing with the therapy situation was, it was not open. And
My
that's
therapist
what
made
we
me
talking
talk.
about from the beginning, right? Like I said, it's just now taking her, because of the severity of her domestic violence, just now talking about it. So imagine how many years she's been going to therapy, suppressing the real issue and only talking about what's frustrating her in the moment. You see what I'm saying?
You're not
So
dealing with the
that,
real
that's the part I have with therapy. So
But
when
maybe
you
the
have-
first time, when it was
It's
time
like
to
I
talk
told
about
you, it was hard for me, it took years.
But
He
look,
in the next
but
year,
look,
find out.
if I wasn't the wise person or the person I am, we wouldn't even be here. We were just, I was telling you, we were talking about divorce. I was like, I'm out of here. We can go Monday. I was on that.
Monday.
I was on that. It was that serious.
But I didn't know.
It was that serious. I'm like, oh, I really gotta go.
was the nice person.
No.
I re-
Monday, yeah.
Wayne, I really thought I was a nice person.
You
I did. But what? I went to anger management because somebody suggested I should go.
Uh-huh.
And I said, ooh, you angry.
And you see?
I was so angry.
Yeah.
When they, in the book, it starts explaining certain things about yourself. I didn't know that I was that angry. You know, and that's from all the things that happened to me. So it was like that's a form of anger, therapy, I'm sorry. That's a point that I did not address because I was mad. You know, from all the things that happened to me, even though I didn't say nothing to nobody, I thought, hey, I'm always happy with everybody, you know, but I didn't know that I was holding a lot of bitterness in. And I was really angry even when I had a smile on my face. Because the things that don't happen to me and what people said and done, and I didn't express myself then. You know how somebody say something to you, and I be like, hey, you don't say nothing back when you had an opportunity to.
Say something.
So I pack it in, boom, boom. So just imagine packing that so many years.
Yeah.
And so there was like a lot of anger in me, and I didn't even know that. So, you know, that's another thing that, I suggest for people that's been domestic abuse to get some anger management. Go to anger management because that,
Women can be abusers too.
yeah.
I probably be angry managers. I probably be
I see you from across the table.
I do have a theory. I always talk about every platform I've been on.
That point is there.
I had anger issues coming up, seeing my mother situation and everything. But my theory, and most of us learn this, situation, your thoughts and beliefs, consequences. That's the protocol that you normally go by. I added on learning experience. So once I stopped fearing consequences, most people stop fearing consequences when they're mad, right? So if I can put in, when I played it, I call it playing the tape through. Right? Play the tape through. So, yeah, but I have a whole conversation
So
with you in my
before
head.
Before he
Before I even have a
addresses
conversation.
any issue, he's good at playing it through from,
What I'ma learn from it.
yes,
If it's
and
beneficial,
coming
even say something.
before it
about,
even
or
comes
let it
out.
go.
But you know, when you talk and you mad, anything makes
Yeah,
you like, yeah. But he can be mad and he gonna play it through and just listen to it and how he gonna communicate it out before he just.
But
He's a responder instead of reacting.
But I never did get a chance to say it.
So I'm just saying, like, you an argument, you know, like, you have to, how would this play it through? Cause sometimes it be like this, like, you just stop, like, let me
You
get back
ever
to
heard
it.
that, you ever
Right,
heard
right.
that saying, if don't nobody put their hands on you, you don't hit them or.
Well, what I said about anger, I just want to
Well, I know you.
I be like this.
Don't I didn't be like that.
I know in my head, I'm frustrated. Like, I be like, oh,
It's like what I hear you saying is that you are proactive as opposed to reactive.
Yeah.
And so you practice like, because it depends on the person.
Yeah, it does.
And then that's how angry I am, because sometimes, like you said, I think I'm a good person. Like, when I get mad, it be like, oh, and I mean, seems like I'm I don't even, you know, I don't even talk like that. You know, I'm not even like it. But sometimes, depending on the person.
Yeah.
So it's a cognitive like you are engaging your cognitive thinking skills because you are actually practicing, you are displaying these scenarios before they even happen. And just not even that particular situation, but okay, so if this happened, how would I react? Or engage the 5 second rule or whatever the situation is, or even the snooze button. Do not hit that snooze, jump up. You tell yourself that, okay, if I get mad, I'm gonna practice this 5 second rule. So not even that you looked at the whole scenario, but let me give myself 5 seconds before I start to react, because
How many
if I-
times have you been mad and you were severely consequent?
You know, you about to really consequence.
Right,
You know what I'm
like-
saying? Like, I mean, like,
jail
or
or-
free.
I'll be back in the Holy Spirit with me. It's spiritual work, that ain't nothing to play with.
And so I'm in my little thing, I'm in my routine, and somebody comes to interrupt me, and the person was rude. And I have to set, when I'm in my capacity of work, I have to set a certain precedent, because I have to garner a certain level of respect. And so you can't just come in here and interrupt what I'm doing, because now they're looking at me like, oh, well, then she don't have authority, so, because we in two different capacities, and so will we still work together? So you can't just come and interrupt what I'm doing, so it pissed me off. And I was like, hey, you talk to me, like, don't, you know what I'm saying, don't address them, you talk to me. And the lady said, well, I just said X, Y, and Z, and I'm just like, well, that's not how you do it. But then I had to check myself, because I got people looking at me. So I said, let me cut it. And I went to my office, and then the lady was like, well, I'm sorry. And I looked at her, and I didn't give her no grace. I was pissed. Then she came and said she was sorry again. But I heard her saying something else, so I came back out, I'm ready to fight. In my mind, I'm like, oh, let her say something else, because I was that mad. And then she just said, oh, I just said I was sorry. And so I was still pissed, but when I got home, I thought about it, I said, I did not give her any grace. Because how many times have I messed up and said something, or may have had a bad day, because usually me and her are good. So she may have had a bad day, somebody may have said something to her that kind of egged it on. I don't know the situation, but I did not give her grace, and I was convicted by that in my spirit.
Your conscience is about. That was a punishment right there.
Yeah,
That's my part, that be my fault.
So
I
bad.
actually went through, a process for like, I wanna say 3.5 to 6 months. Right, where every day for those days, when I was right, I was wrong, and when I was wrong, I was dead wrong. So number one,